You're listening to The Starting Block on TAVshow.com.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
Okie dokie, roll 'em!
Nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change.
Hey, welcome to the Starting Block for another week. Big show as always. We got muted word of the week. We got suspect doc bookings. We got dog or bad room rate. We got how will we survive, cancel everything, tourism hot toss. All that and much more here on the block.
Standing tall on the wings of my dream. Rise and fall on the wings of my dream. Rain and thunder, wind and haze, I'm bound for better days. My life, my dream, nothing's gonna stop me now.
Greeno here from the Starting Block. On behalf of the block, we just wanted to let you all know that we're all in this together. Well, except if you have coronavirus, then stay the fuck away. But in every other situation, we're in it together. To all of you on the front lines, those of you turning a footstool, a wok, and a pitchfork into a home gym, those of you who have given your housemates a mental breakdown because you decided lockdown was a great time to learn the keyboard and the only thing you can play after 8 weeks is chopsticks over and over and over again. And those of you who are homeschooling and are now understanding the question you used to harass your maths teacher with of, when the fuck are we ever going to need to know this in the real world, is coming back to bite you on the ass. Just remember, like a 1990s Australian sitcom, we're all in this together. The days may be long, but in times like this, you can rest assured we will be here to waste an hour of your week, Friday nights Australian time, at dlive.tv/The Starting Block. So take care, social distance, whack on a mask, and subscribe to our show on iTunes. It may not cure coronavirus, but it sure will help us with our rankings. And isn't that really the most important thing right now?
Public Radio's loss is TAVshow.com's game. You're listening to The Starting Block.
Hey, welcome to the Starting Block for another week. You've got myself, Greeno, and I'm joined by a man who's counting down the minutes until you can watch the King's coronation. My co-captain, Damo. How are we, sir?
Very good, Greeno. Good evening to you, boys, girls, listenership, blockheads, millions around the world. Yep, big weekend for old Charles, Chucky boy.
Chucky boy, he's been waiting. He's been sitting there.
Such a long time.
You know what the ultimate irony would be if he passed away if he passed away unexpectedly overnight before he got made king. That would be the ultimate irony. Yeah. And for then, I would vote, hey, let's stay with the monarchy.
Yeah, like, just for the thrills and the chills.
Just for the lols, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not the same ride if you're not part of the monarchy. You got to be part of the Commonwealth to enjoy it.
I accept that King Ralph is not a real situation, and
it should be.
That wouldn't happen. But I'm prepared to accept a King Ralph situation to get Megan installed somehow. Just because, can you imagine the chaos that would, the mayhem that would be unleashed on the world if she was Queen Megan, Greeno? Imagine that.
Because wait, where would that have to go? You'd have to go.
I reckon she'd declare war on magazines in the United States, Greeno.
Oh, it'd be chaos. Yeah, it'd be very good.
Riding in on the back of a pure white horse, with a sword in there. She'd come over the Canadian border.
Yeah, she'd appoint Princess Oprah. It'd be beautiful.
Oprah, yeah. The adopted Queen Mother.
Exactly. The new one. Yeah. Damo, if we can quickly open the kimono. We had a bit of pre-show. Pre-show is normally a bit of chit-chat. Unfortunately, pre-show today was just, I can't hear anything. You can't hear anything. Your Twitter's not working. My Twitter's not working. Need to restart. You restart. And we wasted fucking 20 minutes of everyone's time, including our own. Yep. Now, during that time, that is normally beverage consumption time that we're normally doing the show. So the beverage consumption is a bit slower because, as anyone who's ever listened to this show, I generally don't shut up. So it's the occasional sip here or there when Damo's retorting to something stupid I've said. And
which also means, if you're a keen observer, you'll notice that I get... Greeno may be drunker than I am at the start of the show, but I'm far more drunk than he is by the end of the show because he's talking so much, he's not drinking as much, and because I can't get a word in, I just sit here drinking. Yeah. And so if you'll notice, towards the end of the show, I tend to drop off a bit. And Greeno's still kind of perky as he was at the beginning. That's why. If anything, he's sobering up by the time we get to the end of the show.
I'm normally in, I'm ready. I'm back to designated driver by the end of the show. That's how we roll.
That's right.
But what happened today? So I finished off my pre-made hot toddy. Okay. And during the winter months here in Australia, for our American listeners, because we are coming into the winter months, what I do is I do a backup hot toddy. Okay. I like to make one in a thermos and it's ready to go. Now, what I realized today, because normally it's halfway through the show, I'm not really paying attention to what I'm drinking. No, I pour it into my glass, I'm chit-chatting away, have a bit of a sip here and there, and it's all fine.
Little sips.
Because we were in pre-show, I poured the hot toddy, and what generally happens is because the thermos is larger than my glass, I double the whiskey component and double everything else, right?
Right. So you're in there with a double hot toddy, Greeno.
Well, no. It's not a double because what generally happens is I'd pour it in and I realize it's 2 regular glasses. Right. So it's still a single. Yep. I've just doubled the components, the ingredients to balance it out for the double portion, right?
So it's not a double, honey. It's 2 singles.
It's 2 singles.
We're running with that. That's a nice Gary, by the way. You pick that one up, boys. Remember that one. That'll get you out of a lot of trouble. No, it's 2 singles in one glass.
2 singles.
Relax.
That's how it works.
2 singles in one cup. Yeah.
What generally happens is during the first ad break, I kind of do a bit of a pour, top up my glass. Yeah. And then I top up the rest as we go.
Sure.
Now, this time I finished my whole glass. So I poured my thermos, assuming that I've got 2 glasses worth in my thermos.
Oh, no.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
What I didn't realize is the thermos is actually the same as my glass volume-wise.
Oh, no.
It's an optical illusion. Yes. So I've actually been doing
those deceptive glass makers.
I've been doing a double, what is actually a single glass entire time. Yeah. So this is going to be, it's going to be loose. It's going to be loose by about
you really were having. So not only were you having 2 singles in one glass, you're actually having 2 sets of doubles, Greeno.
Oh, 100%. And I'm tasting it. I'm like, oh, geez, that's
a lot of toddy.
That's a lot of toddy right there. Yep. Dame, I muted word of the week
Greeno,
to kick off the show.
Before we kick off the show, I was just thinking, a thought just occurred to me. We've had the Milo rankings for a long time. It's been a very successful part of the show. We're both very proud of the Milo rankings.
Milo rankings has been going for a good part of 7 years now. It's been a stalwart, if you will. Lasted longer than the gardening report. Yeah. I'll put it that way.
That's true. Now, something just occurred to me. I think we can also have a toddy rankings, Greeno. So
toddy ranking,
okay. So you've got the hot toddies, Greeno.
All right, hot toddy's number 1.
Hot toddy. Yeah. Then you got Toddy Goldsmith, Greeno.
Toddy, okay, that's different because are we saying so TT and DD they're the same? Toddy?
No. So you've got your hot toddy, then you've got your Toddy Goldsmith, and then you've got Toddy's Toddies, Greeno, which is a breast.
Yeah.
So So there's your toddy ranking right there, Greeno.
Well, if I can call you out here, if we have to do that particular ranking and we're including both hot toddies, Toddy Goldsmith, and hotties toddies,
Toddies, yeah.
toddies, then toddies are going to be number one.
Okay.
Surely.
I don't know. It's for the people to decide, Greeno.
And then we go hot toddies second,
toddies.
And then we go Toddy Goldsmith because we've already had the best part of number one.
Chauvinists and sexists and misogynists and chauvinists and sex.
All right, there you go. So
there we go.
New to the show, the toddy rankings. I'm not sure it's going to be as fruitful as the Milo rankings because there really is a lot of Milos.
Anyone's got suggestions for toddies or toddies that we can utilise for the toddy rankings? Feel free to send them through. I feel like this is the bastard stepchild of the Milo rankings. To be fair,
yeah, but sometimes the bastard
Christmas, but we don't want to.
Well, sometimes Greeno, the bastard stepchild, is the one who takes the throne. You know what I mean?
There we go.
Yeah, maybe it's the unwanted bastard who ends up, becoming the king of the ranking situation. Right now, Milo is like, the one that was born with a silver spoon in its mouth, the firstborn. Everything's just been handed to it. It had no competition. Greeno is what I'm saying. Now that we're introducing the toddy rankings, who knows? Maybe the unwanted bastard child can one day become the king itself or the queen, for example. Queen Megan, Greeno, could be an inspiration to the toddies.
Could be an inspiration. Question without notice. Are we taking offshoots of toddy and toady? Because I'm thinking, can we throw in toady?
That's nice, Gary.
Nice, Gary.
Because I'm like, we do toddy,
right,
toddy,
or toady. Yeah.
And toady. So
well,
I
guess
we can incorporate all three.
Yeah, I think you can because depending on where you come in the world, maybe you pronounce toddy as toady. Oh, it's just a couple of tortoise.
So in that instance, I'm going to have to revamp it. We're going to go toddies, hot toddies first. Then we're going to go hot toddies. Then we have to go toady from Neighbours, and then we have to go Toddy Goldsmith 4.
Okay, I like it.
Nice, Gary.
We've almost got a top 5.
We've almost got a top 5. Damo, muted word of the week. Now, I want to revisit a muted word of the week from this time last year, and probably from the year before. To be fair, May the 4th.
Oh, Greeno, sorry, I'm sorry. We've got to interrupt. BE from the UK, Greeno, has joined us in the chat. He's got a couple of toddies already. Francisco Totti, most capped soccer player for Roma, Italian legend. So there you go.
He's in number 4.
Okay, and go for a feed at Toddy's Bondi, Greeno. There's a restaurant called Toddy's.
Okay, well now I got to look up Toddy as Toddies or Toddies.
It's whatever you want it to be.
Bondi. Now I got to look. Now I got to see what's on the menu here, man.
This
here we go.
Toddy's.
Toddy's.
Far. Yeah.
It's Toddy's Bondi. Toddy's Bondi. It's an Italian restaurant.
Okay.
Let's have a look at the menu, shall we? What do they got there? There's a bit of Italiano. It's a nice facade. It's a bit of an outdoor setting. Bit of al fresco there. What do we got?
So one for the summertime then?
Definitely a summertime. Let's go drink and eat, shall we? Let's go to menu. Hold on. Okay, well, they're already fucking dead last because I can't even find the menu.
Okay, no menu. Okay.
No, the menu's here. It's a bit of a dick around because now you got to filter by state, region, venue type, what cuisine you want. Get fucked, Toddies.
Toddy's is out. You're not even in the top 5. We only just created it. You're out.
Nah, here we go. No, that was Greeno fuck up. Give me a dick move.
Okay, dick move.
You dick.
Because here's what happened. Toddy's is part of an overall conglomerate of restaurants called the Merivale Group. So I clicked on something that I thought was the menu. Turns out I went on the overall Merivale menu. So still a dick move.
Group.
It's still going to bring him down a few. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm BE. I'm putting it out here. Toddy's is now below Toddy Goldsmith.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why. Because they're
I
putting
thought
on
Toddy Goldsmith would be ranked quite highly. I guess.
Well, no, Toddy's hot toddies are up there,
but not Toddy.
Not Toddy herself. Okay. Yeah. Because they charge individual prices for individual ingredients on an antipasti. So if you want a tomato, you got to fork out $12.
Really?
If you want an olive, you got to pay 9.5.
Is that really?
If you want a
price?
mushroom. Yeah, 100%. If you want a mushroom, $9.
$9.
If you want melon, $7. You want a salted beetroot, $8. Pickled vegetables, $8.
Okay,
White
tell
beans,
me what one with the works is worth, Greeno.
It doesn't tell me because you have to put it all
add it
together.
up. You're an accountant, so just do a little quick sum.
Oh, you want a bit of everything?
Yeah.
All right, so we're talking 20, 36, then we're talking 48, then we're talking 50, then we're talking 59, and then we're talking 66, then we're talking 74, Then we got another 16. So then we're talking 90. Fuck, man. We're only halfway through the ingredients and we're already at 114.
Oh, boy.
So if you want an overall antipasta, you're talking. Oh, hey, and I haven't even got to the hard shit. We got prosciutto, 18 months, $21.
$21 to throw some ham on it. Yeah.
You can get yourself some chicken liver parfait for $14.50, and you get a Carata, 14 months aged at $35.
What even is that? I don't even know what that is.
I don't know. Never heard of Carata.
Okay.
I've heard of everything else.
Yeah.
No,
Karate.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mortadella for $14.50. Go fuck yourself, Toddies. Nah, Toddies is dead last.
Toddies is dead last. Toddies at Bondi. Well, they're still in the top 10, believe it or not, because we've only got 7 contenders.
They may become the Milo Yiannopoulos of the Toddy rankings.
Toddies at Bondi is the new Milo Yiannopoulos. Greeno. We've declared it here on the show. There you go.
There we go. Well done. Thanks for the suggestion, though, B. We just got fucking 9 minutes of material out of that. Just by listing prices and ingredients.
He's got another one, Greeno. Toddy. British informal people, especially women, collectively considered as sexual objects. There you go. Hot toddies, Greeno. So you've got toddies. Hot toddies is one entry, but then you've got the hot toddies, which is the toddies, which is the what is it? Collectively considered as sexual objects, Greeno.
Yeah, okay. So toddies Britain, is it?
Toddies. Well, British kind of slang, I'm guessing. So toddies would be a group of young slutties or something.
Okay. Well,
Greeno.
In that instance, I think toddies.
Toddies.
The British slutties.
Yeah, the British sluts. Okay,
it's probably going to have to be number one, right?
Okay. So the toddies are ahead of toddies.
Toddies, hot toddies. Yeah. Because my theory is we've got to take overall.
Why are we still talking about this? Please.
I don't know. It's been 20 minutes. Adding to it. I was trying to get to mute a word of the week. You keep bringing it back. I keep talking.
Okay.
So
the toddies, aka the slutties.
The slutties have got to be number one because they've got multiple toddies, hot toddies.
Right. As opposed to Toddy, who's only got the one toddy.
Which is just true, technically two.
Pair of
one group, two individual. So you've got to take the overall group over the individual.
And then you've just got Toady in the back with his rat's tail.
Well, Toadie's still ahead of Toddies at Bondi, to be fair.
Yeah, well,
after the fucking $700 plate of antipasta. Get fucked. Don't ever go to Toddies.
Greeno, he's got another one. Toddy, a 3-piece alternative rock band from Wollongong. There you go.
Nice.
So is Toddy now ahead of the Toddy?
I'm now going to look up Toddy's Wollongong.
Toddy. No, it's just Toddy. So it's TOTTY, Greeno. It's a band.
Oh, Toddy's, double TY.
It's a band in Wollongong, apparently.
Let's have a look at this one, shall we? No, that's giving me today's weather. That doesn't help.
That's not helpful. Unless the weatherman is also named Toddy.
Well, they've referred to themselves as a 4-tone artist, so that's not going to fucking help.
Okay.
But they are a shed rock band.
Shed rock?
Yeah, Toddy are a 3-piece shed rock band from Wollongong.
So garage rock is out, shed rock is in, Greeno.
Shed rock is in. I'll tell you what, when we get to the next ad break, we're gonna we'll check out some clips of Toddy. And then we'll decide, because I feel like it'd be unfair to just
we should listen to them first and see.
We should put them first, because don't get me wrong, they're not going to be up there with the British Toddy slutties.
Who knows? Maybe they're better than Toddy or Toddy's Toddies or Toddy's hot toddies, Greeno.
They could be banging.
Definitely better than Toddy's at Bondi. Not so good as Francesco Toddy, I don't think.
Anyway, no, I'm going to click it now.
Or Toddy.
Toady from Neighbours. That's a fucking different story.
Yeah.
I
think we've got enough Toddies now that we can kick Toady out because he's only in there on a technicality in the first place because you couldn't think of enough Toddies.
I couldn't think of enough Toddies.
Yeah. So Toady's out. Okay.
I've just listened to 4 seconds of Toddies from Wollongong, the band.
Yep.
I liken them to chick punk from the mid-1990s.
Oh, okay. I like that kind of stuff, like Veruca Salt, Greeno.
It's not quite Veruca Salt. It's a bit more punky. It's more that kind of stuff you saw in your
Shonen
generic...
Knife.
Yeah, no, definitely not Shonen Knife. I love a bit of banana chips for me. Banana chips for me. Not quite banana chips.
Okay.
But it's poppy, punky. So I'm going to put that maybe at 6.
6. Okay, the Toddies.
After 4 seconds of listening, I might listen a bit more during the week and reevaluate the Toddy rankings.
Okay.
All right. Are we going to move on from the Toddy
I
rankings
think we
now?
probably should.
We probably should for the sake
I'm
of our
sorry. Look, it was never
7
meant to go
listeners.
that long. Yeah.
It's no good. Okay, well,
Well, no one knows. No one even knows who we're talking about when we say Toddy Goldsmith. That means nothing to them, you know. So it was a whole waste of time. That was supposed to be a couple of minutes for you and I to laugh at.
That was, yeah, and we did. Don't get me wrong.
Now we've got the bastard child of the Milo rankings trying to assume power of the rankings, I guess, trying to get number one on the power rankings.
It's true. All right, and well, now I'm going to find a clip of Toddy Goldsmith.
Okay.
Where we get to see Toddy's hot toddies. I don't think we're going to find that on YouTube because I don't think
you won't
much
find it on
dudes out.
YouTube, but you probably wouldn't have to search too far either.
Nah, just put Toddy's rack or something like that, and you find that'll do. Damo, muted word of the week.
Yes,
I briefly
Toddy.
spoke about it earlier. First and foremost, need to reiterate previous year's muted word of the week. Anyone that refers to the thing about May the 4th be with you, go fuck yourself. You're in the bin, you're muted. That one's been muted several times.
I'm sorry, but B's got another Toddy, Greeno. I'm sorry.
Nice, Gary!
This segment is never going to end. Stop looking at the chat. This is not good.
He's got Mark Toddy, who's an actor. He was in Joan of Arcadia, Bones, and The Fosters, Greeno. There you go, Mark Toddy.
Oh, well, fucking that's very good.
It's such a good get.
And Criminal Minds. Jesus. That's like that.
Yeah.
That's like the Milo Ventimiglia that no one knew. Like, who's that guy? And I'm like, he's been in like 7 different shows you may know. No one knows Milo
It's
Ventimiglia.
just one of those quiet achieving Milos, Greeno.
I'm going to put Mark. Oh, this is Mark Toddy. I'm going to put him 4.
4, okay.
Because he's got a good kind of canvas of work here. I see Bones, I see Criminal Minds, both long-running series. Yep. He looks like the kind of actor. He might have been a lot more things that I probably have seen. Didn't realize he was there.
Well, that's always good for an actor. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to see that. Yeah. Then again, I'm looking at his tomato meter ratings. 37, 69.
Oh, do people still read those, do they?
I don't know. I'm just scrolling on Mark Toddy, to be fair. Okay. Here's one. Fucking hear me out.
Yeah.
Mark Toddy, the real estate agent.
Mark Toddy, the real estate agent.
Nice, Gary!
Now, if you're looking to buy or sell...
Now, let's confirm first, please, that it's not the same guy.
It's a different Mark Toddy.
Because there's probably many a person who's also been a real estate agent whilst being an actor, Greeno. You know?
Yeah. Nah, fair call.
Yeah.
Fair call. All right. So give Mark a call.
Mark Toddy.
Mark Toddy.
Give Mark Toddy a call.
Estate.
He'll either sell you a house or sell you a dream. There you go.
All right. Now, I'm going to have to bump Mark Toddy, the real estate agent, down a few pegs because his second post on Facebook is sellers get the cherry on top with a picture of a cherry.
No, I like that. It's good, clean fun. Yeah.
Good, clean fun. All right. Well,
I mean, it's not witty because you're just you're not making a metaphorical, reference to anything. You're just literally posting a cherry. And it's like, well, would the cherry be on top of the house? How am I going to get it down from up there? I'd have to get a ladder, Greeno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at some of these houses Mark's trying to flog here.
Flog. Oh, look at these junkies flogging off.
There's not much that's really tickling the fancy, to be fair, Mark.
Well, it's a buyer's market, Greeno.
It definitely is a buyer's market with what Mark's selling. So there we go, Mark Toddy, real estate agent. I'm going to put him down at 8. I can't believe we're already at 10.
10. So we filled out our top 10 for the Toddies. That's fantastic.
I'm going to have to go back and listen to the start of this show and work out how I feel like I need to. Well, that as well, because we've been going 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes maybe.
Yeah, 25.
On Toddy rankings.
Toddies. Yeah.
I'm skipping Muted Word of the Week, Damo.
Okay, you're skipping the next segment. That's
skipping that. Tough. I'm going to do Stefan's old favourite segment. Skipping that.
He hated that segment. What are you talking about? Because it was always his stuff that we skipped.
No, that's why he loved it, because he felt like he was still getting acknowledged.
Right.
Damo, had to do a few doctor's appointments throughout the course of the week, right? And what I like to do, you know me, I don't like to engage with people as little as humanly possible.
Yes.
Engagement, not Greeno's strong suit. Let's fucking stay away. If I can do something online, I'm going to fucking do that instead.
Yep.
So decided to do online bookings. Now, first and foremost, incredible pain in the ass to get any GP's appointment in any way, shape, or form in my current area. Now, I don't know what your area is like when it comes to availability of GPs. I called 11 different medical centers this week to get something looked at. 0 appointments available, and if there was an appointment available, we don't take new patients. I'm like,
You
what do
got
you mean you
less
don't take new
options.
patients?
You got less options where you are. It's a smaller population, and it's a lot less decent. It's a lot more kind of spread out. Whereas where I am, look, if there's no doctor within half an hour, then within an hour I'll find someone. There's going to be someone. Because there's fucking literally dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens.
I didn't have that
such
last
a high
room.
density population area. Whereas down where you are, it's kind of like, well, if the first guy's unavailable and the second guy says no thanks and there's a queue at the third guy, you might not be seeing a doctor that day.
You could be alert. So I had to go outside suburb. So I had to start like expanding the region where I'm like, okay, well, so I called everyone. They're like, either, we're booked up till Wednesday next week. Or I'm like, well, so no one's allowed to get sick until next Wednesday? I don't understand. They didn't find my joke funny. And then and then the other ones who did have appointments available, I'm like, this doctor's available. And I booked the appointment. And then they're like, are you a new or an existing patient? I'm like, I'm a new patient. And they're like, oh, sorry, we don't take new patients. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm sick. And they're like, no, but we don't take new patients.
I'd feel like saying, well, I'm not a new patient. I have been sick before. I know the drill. Like that, you don't have to give me an orientation when I come down there. I pretty much know what I'm doing.
I just love the irony of it because by that stage, I was
no one's a new patient though.
I was at my 6th doctor that I'd called, and everyone was unavailable. And I finally found a guy with an appointment, and he's like, "Nah, sorry, like I only take." I'm like, "You've got an availability, yes, but you won't see me because I haven't seen you before." Yes. No, that doesn't seem very doctorish.
Wow. Is that part of is that part of the code? Is it is that part of the oath? Well,
at that point, I was like, why don't I fucking see this guy? Fuck him. Like, he doesn't want to see me. Fuck him.
You're running out of options, though, at this point also, which has got to be playing on your mind.
I literally was. Eventually found a doctor to go see, headed on down, and as they like to do, they like to refer you off to other things. So they're like, oh, go get this scan, go get this scan. So I'm like, all right, all good. I'm like, where's the scan place? Can I get this done today? Like, no, it's next door. You got to go there. They're a different company. And I'm like, okay.
Right.
Which is fine. I don't mind that. I don't like being like handed off to someone they're affiliated with, but it was next door, massively convenient. Assuming I'd be able to get straight in and we're done and dusted and we get all the scans done and then we move on and then I get the results and we're all sweet.
It is convenient, but it's common and it always strikes me. It's like, well, how did the X-ray guy know that he was going to make a lot of money by buying a place next to them?
Right next
to the doctor's office.
Yeah.
I wonder how, surely that's not a coincidence. Like, they didn't just happen to both open up on the same day.
Chicken or the egg situation, I think.
Chicken or the egg.
Was the radiology place there first or was the doctors there first?
That's right. Now, without even having ever gone into either place, my very first thought whenever I see that kind of a situation is like, I would love to see how many people they're referring for an X-ray compared to a doctor that isn't next door to an X-ray, for example, Greeno. Like, that's always the first thought that I have because because I'm a very cynical person and I have no faith in humankind whatsoever, generally speaking.
I have a general rule of like, as long as they're okay, like as long as the radiology place is fine, then I don't mind. I can deal with it because realistically they're scanning you and you don't have to deal with them ever again. So it's all sweet.
Yeah, and there's usually a Macca's the next door down or something as well.
You'll be fine. You'll get something done.
Yeah.
So duck on over next door, assuming I'm going to get scanned that day. And they're like, I don't know. Sorry, we don't have no appointments today. Can you come back? We've got, because I had to get 2 separate scans done of 2 separate areas. So they're like, we need to do these as 2 separate days. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, can't you just fucking, like, the areas aren't far apart. I'm like, can't you just scan it all at once? And they're like, no, we need to do it as 2 separate appointments to scan 2 separate areas. I'm like, can they be done back to back? Oh, no, we can't do that. I'm like, well, that'd be convenient because I have to go to work this week. So
this is the thing, that like the medical industry, even when they're doing you, whether they're doing you good or doing you harm, it doesn't matter really. they become like an obsessive girlfriend who just wants to take up all of your time and not share you with anybody else, you know?
And obviously inside work hours, which is massively inconvenient.
And it's like, well, we just met. Look, I know you've seen me naked already, but we just met on the first day. You've taken pictures of my dick and stuff now. Okay. And now you want to see me again on Wednesday now. Now I've got to come back, and then you're going to stick something up my ass and take my temperature.
Yeah.
And, you know, then you're going to stick something in my ears and down my throat. It's all getting very personal very quickly. And then you're asking me to come back again on the Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they become like the obsessive girlfriend, Greeno.
It's a bit of that vibe, 100%. So anyway, I booked the appointments as needed to be done, made them separate, got it all done. Thankfully, all covered under Medicare. So I was like, I can complain about that, but I don't have to pay anything. So that's a big old Greeno tick. Anytime I don't have to pay for something, I give it a big old tick.
I can sign me up for another scan. Who gives a fuck?
Scan everything. Like we're going on. Surely there's someone else wrong, right?
Someone else is picking up the tab. What do I give a fuck? Yeah,
exactly.
Get my money's worth here.
Now, ask the people at the particular practice. I'm like, oh, how long before the scan results will be back? Because the doctor said I got to go back to get the scan results from them once they're available. So they're like, oh, a couple of days. I'm like, excellent. So at that point, they're like, oh, have you booked the appointment with the doctor next door? I'm like, not yet. Why? And they're like, well, we try and call them all the time. We can never get through. And I'm like, I'm like, well, what do you do? Like, we walk next door. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to fucking call these people. I'm going to book it online. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to book an online appointment. Because what happened the first time is I was going to book online, but then after the whole kind of I don't take new patients debacle, I was like, well, I better call them to make sure they take new patients. They did. And I just booked it over the phone.
Yeah, so, and who knows? Like, it might be a case of maybe there's a really, maybe there's a really unethical kind of lazy receptionist who just leaves the phone off the hook.
Exactly.
And you know what? People will sign up online if they care that much about seeing the doctor. Who gives a fuck? I'm listening to Korn today.
100%. That's it. I'm busy.
Yeah. Painting her nails black. She's got the phone off the hook. She's listening to Korn, Greeno. Wearing a mask so the patients can't see her laughing at their problems when she reads their file.
Well, if she's listening to Korn, she's not laughing. Trust me.
No, she'd be miserable. Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just going to book for next week's appointment online. And all goes well. Everything is fine. It's all fantastic.
Of course.
Until I get the email confirmation about the appointment. Now, the appointment is confirmed. So you can fucking rest easy. Greeno's got his appointment
You
booked.
are seeing a doctor that day.
I'm seeing a doctor next week. We are all good. Problem is, the online system they use is called HotDoc. So in my email, when my wife logs into my emails and looks at it, I've got an appointment with HotDoc next Wednesday.
HotDoc.
HotDoc.
Why would they call their company HotDoc? Unless it was... Let's imagine, I'd like to think that it was an escort service that became a medical service because while 100%. They were going out, doing house calls as an escort service and the guy was like, I've got a bit of the sniffles. Is there anything you would recommend? And like, you know what? We can do both.
I'd recommend a rim job. Like fucking... really? So this is now sitting in my inbox. Like, it's confirmation that Greeno's there.
Yeah.
HotDoc.
Fantastic.
So that's a bit suspect. Now, this brings me to the second part of the story time. So yesterday they had scan number 1 done. That's fine. That one over there is done in a safe area, all right?
Yep.
Now, scan number 2 involved Greeno's below waist area, okay?
Okay.
So which got me thinking, as this particular
second date, at least you're not a slut, Greeno.
Exactly.
You waited to the second time out.
This is what got me thinking. And I'm like, it's a very, very fine line about appropriateness and context, right?
Being a toddy.
So, and being a toddy. So, as the radiologist was applying, gel to Greeno's nether regions to do a particular scan, I'm like, in any other context, if a woman was applying gel to my balls right now,
you'd be in severe trouble.
This could cause some troubles with my marriage.
Could do, yeah.
However,
allegedly,
Perfectly
the lady
fine.
applying the gel.
The loyal, faithful employee from hotdoc.com, Greeno. Supplying the gel to your testicles.
And scanning the bad boy,
Yeah.
appropriate.
So she says, scanning. She might have just been taking photos of it, Greeno.
Who knows? 100% could have been happy snaps. I could be.
Could have
I
just been a
slut
finger,
shamed
just one solitary
time.
finger, you know.
Exactly. But a very fine line between cheating and medical, Damo.
That's true.
Very fine line. Lady can fondle my balls with gel inside a medical facility. Appropriate. Do that, Friday night in a car park.
Yeah.
Inappropriate.
Yeah. Ironically, you can talk to children about sex as long as you're surrounded by a school when you do it. But you couldn't do that in the waiting room of a doctor's office, for example.
Doctor's office. Or
You can go
outside the school grounds.
that's right. Or you could go into the doctor's office and then it's okay to fondle the testicles of the person who's not allowed to talk about.
Fine line.
Yeah, it really is. Life is a wandering through a minefield, isn't it, Greeno? At any moment, the wrong comment in the wrong time could blow your leg off. You wouldn't even see it coming.
And now that could not be a more appropriate time to hit an ad break before we finish off the show.
Okay.
Do you like your novelty comedy songs organic? Handmade with painstaking care, put into every note? Well, look no further than Irrational Times. Using only the finest instruments to create an experience that your ears will thank you for later, Irrational Times attempts to elevate the whimsy to a desirable level. New songs and sketches every week, so check it out.
There's a place that we can go to watch old things. All the warm, fuzzy member berries it brings. It's a special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Campy old movies and old cartoons. We hope to see you over there very soon. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. When we were kids and there wasn't any school, we'd sit and watch all the best cartoons, eating cereal until it was noon. We never thought that 30 years later it'd still be cool. Saturday night and cheesy movies, the ones that used to show us boobies. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy.
Now with less than 3% sport content. It's the starting block on TAVShow.com.
Yes, welcome back to the blog, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Don't forget, Good.Life. That's where we'll be at. Greeno. Still under construction. But I've been assured by the good employees over at Good.Life, Greeno, that things are good and heading in the right direction. So that's the main thing, isn't it? Coming out of Good.Life, Greeno. We're all very excited.
We're pumped.
Yeah.
Very pumped. I need to give a shout out to at SmokeyBear_2022 on Twitter, who has sent through some live stuff. Someone decided to draw dick and balls outside the lawn of the coronation of the king.
That's really nice, Gary. It's fantastic.
And this is
That's
kind of stuff
the kind of petty.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not a fan of vandalism or that kind of thing, generally speaking. But petty vandalism of that nature, drawing a dick and balls outside the king's house.
This is a once a generation opportunity to go there, go into the grass, cut some dick and balls out there in front of the king's coronation.
You and I, Greeno, would be drawing bog rolls, if anything, if we were out there.
Bog rolls. Literally had this conversation with my daughter today.
Bog rolls. Yeah.
Bog rolls. Because she was talking, she's like, the teacher we had today was talking about how when she was at school, she wasn't a very good drawer and the kids would pick on her. I'm like, did you tell them how, like, Dad could only draw fucking toilet paper rolls and, like, he wasn't very good either? And she's like, no, that's embarrassing. And I'm like, well, we made her feel better, right? Like, she couldn't draw. I can only do bog rolls. That's a good thing. And she's like, no, Dad, I'm not going to tell the teacher that. I'm like, well, you should have.
Well, it taught you how to draw because you were drawing a cylinder and it was a very formulaic drawing. So Greeno and myself just used to draw bog rolls everywhere all the time, like graffiti all over the whole school at one point. And
that's all I knew how to draw.
Then we noticed other kids just started drawing it. They didn't know why they were doing it. They were just copying us.
Copying the bog rolls.
And we weren't doing it. We were doing it because you could sit there and fuck around with a tag, or you could do a bog roll. We had it down to like 5 seconds. Circle, line, half a circle, dot, tear off, done.
Tear off, yeah. Yeah, it was more like, scissors, cut, done.
Yes, exactly. It was a formula. So we could knock out 50 bog rolls in 30 seconds if we wanted to. We were that fast.
Which we once did at a school. Was either
filled up the whole blackboard or something?
Or an athletics carnival. Yeah. The class had gone out. We'd already been eliminated.
We were 8 or 9 years old at this point, mind you. I think thereabouts.
We ducked on into our own classroom.
Yeah, and graffitied it with bog rolls everywhere. Toilet rolls.
Bog rolls all over the blackboard. Yeah. Went back out, joined the queue, walked back in. Teacher's like, what the fuck is this?
And we acted shocked, like all the other children. Oh,
how dare they?
Yeah, it's so random, so weird.
Yeah. So well done. Thank you for at SmokeyBear_222. 2022, my bad.
Bog rolls.
Where were we up to on this particular show? It's been over the shop.
Let's Chartable ratings, Greeno. What's going on there?
Now, I got very excited because Chartable decided to message us throughout the course of this week.
Really?
Turns out they were just plugging their new shit. They're like, we've transferred you over to a new Chartable. And in the back of my mind, I was pumped, assuming that we were just rating our tits off in either Vietnam or Sweden again.
Well, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, what are you writing to me for? I don't think I'm still on the old Chartable anymore. I think
we're still there. I didn't realize I forgot about the Chartable because we don't rate very frequently, but when we do, we know we've done a cracker. All right,
and it's usually in Sweden or Vietnam. Just so
Sweden, Vietnam. That's how we roll. But what ended up happening is the reason that Chartable got in contact is because we got our second review ever.
Really?
On Apple Podcasts. 5-star rating.
How wonderful.
Our 7th listener trying to get in the 8th listener.
Okay.
So I was doing it kind of like an Avon scheme. So tip of the hat. Let's give a nice Gary to Stephen Babb for trying to fucking pass on. They're like, hey, I'm enjoying this comedy now. Yeah. You could also be involved in this comedy. Come on, get on board. You could become the 8th listener. So I thought I'll reach out to Steve and send him a thank you. Like, hey, man, thanks for fucking putting the rating in there. Appreciate it. Yeah. And he apologized. Like, sorry it took me so long. I'm like, literally, there's no need to apologize because you're only the second review we have. The first one, I think, was from Kimmy. Like 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, when we made her like the number one on the fan power rankings.
Oh, the very controversial power rankings that literally broke up the audience. Yeah.
That's it. We're getting death threats. People got banned from Twitter. It was a very
serious matter. It really was.
We generally try not to talk about it.
That's not true. We talk about it all the time.
That's very true. But it was nice for Chartable to reach out, and it was very nice for him to give us a rating.
It is.
Which brings me to my next segment. Yeah. And what is my favorite segment always, Damo?
Doctor, or something stupid like that.
No, ones that I don't have to fucking write.
That's true.
So
nice, Gary.
So this week, our original power rankings number 1. Kimmy got in touch with me to contribute to Dog or Bad Roommate.
Oh, nice.
Nice, Gary.
Let's go.
So I had a whole bunch of shit already planned for this week, but I'm like, well, now if someone else is going to write the content, I've got to use it.
Yes.
So Kimmy's contributed this to Dog or Bad Roommate.
All right, let's go.
All right. Now, is it a dog or is it a bad roommate? That free bled on a new leather couch sofa.
Ooh. I have seen bleeding on a couch sofa, but I haven't seen it done, acceptably, like it's meant to happen and we're happy for it to happen. It's always been a frantic, oh my God, you're bleeding. We need to stop that immediately. I'm going to go dog.
I feel like I should have probed Kimmy a little bit more because I need to know the color of the sofa. Because I feel
pure
like
white, obviously.
Yeah,
leather.
if we're talking like a white leather sofa here, then I feel like it's a bad roommate.
And then you'd feel like you need to keep if you bleed on a pure white leather sofa in a little patch, I'd feel like, well, can you just keep bleeding on it now for like all over it so it looks like a pattern? It's like
an art piece.
Yeah, that's right.
It's an like.
I'll sell it to some feminists or something.
Yeah,
they'll pay through
like
the nose
how you've got like one wall that's one particular color and everything else is white.
That's right.
It's like that. Like just need to bleed all over the one particular couch seat.
Yeah.
And then it becomes like, oh, that's a focus wall.
There you
that's
go.
a focus
I'm gonna find a cheap white leather couch and then either a bad roommate or a dog to have them free bleed on it, and then I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna call it a Liberation Greeno. Is going to be the name of my art piece. And we're gonna sell it to a fucking gallery or something and make a mint. You watch.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it. Well, that's this week's segment of Dog or Bad Roommate. Thank you, Kimmy, for writing this
which
week's
one
segment.
was it? We don't know which it was.
Well, Kimmy didn't confirm.
Oh, so we have to wait till next week now.
But next week, Kimmy, get in touch with us. Let us know. Was that a dog or a bad roommate?
Yeah.
Because Greeno's guess is bad roommate.
I'm going
I feel
dog.
like you're going dog. Free bleeding over a new leather sofa.
Okay.
But we can move that segment for a while, I think.
It's right up there with the Toddy rankings as far as favourite segments go, Greeno.
Well, this one's way better because I got way more material for the dog or bad roommate segment.
Really?
So it's very good. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
100%. Damo, I don't know if you heard this news this week. Are you okay? You seemed a bit down, to be fair, when we first logged on. And obviously, safe to assume it was because of the writers' strike that's happening in America, where the fictional writers guild.
I'm devastated, obviously.
Look, we've had enough. Turns out that the hack shit that we write day in, day out, that apparently involves a lot of effort, can be done by artificial intelligence.
Oh, really?
We don't want that. We're gonna take a stand. We're not gonna write fucking Jimmy Kimmel's opening monologue this week. We are not gonna do the embarrassing sketches that performed on Saturday Night Live week in, week out. No. We've had enough. They're on strike, Damo.
We're on strike too, are we? Okay.
I want to make sure. Well, here's the thing: we're not affiliated with a guild.
Oh, does that mean we can be scabs then? We can throw a hand up?
And that's fucking where I want to go with this. I feel like this is an opportunity. Lorne Michaels, if you're listening over there, hit us up. We're available. Jimmy Kimmel, you want to get in touch. Who's the other one? Jimmy Fallon. That Corden fuckwit's gone now, so whoever's replacing him.
Well, I hope you like the new host better than you like that Corden. What'd you call him? That Corden fuckwit?
God, no. Embarrassing.
I'm amazed they haven't called you already to get a writer in there.
Get a writer. Yeah. Anyone available? I assume this also applies to like the dramas that are out there. What dramas are popular these days?
Yellowstone, Greeno is a popular
Yellowstone.
one. Yeah.
No writing for that anymore. That one's done. So I don't know if we can write for that one. I feel we're more suited for those late night kind of sketch comedy programs.
Yeah, where no one's really paying attention, so it doesn't really matter if you're good or not.
That's where we fit. So happy to be scabs. Scabbing it up here on the show.
Lock us in.
Get in touch with us, American missing writers.
Lock it in, Eddie.
Speaking of writers, Damo, we got another episode of Cancel Everything. Were you able to get this one up and running?
What is it exactly?
Cancel Everything is Bluey, which is kind of like a fun Australian kids cartoon.
Yeah.
Apparently has been taken over by the... here we go. Now we got it up and running.
There you go.
There we go. Apparently it was a controversial Bluey episode called Exercise was edited after parents dubbed the episode fatphobic. Now,
parents?
Parents. A couple of fucking old ducks who haven't been laid in quite a while. It's pretty safe to assume here.
Well, I was just thinking, Jesus, haven't times changed? Because when I was a kid, my mum threatened to put a picture of the local fat kid on the fridge. So every time I went for a snack, I'd have to think about it. You know,
this is why we need your mum more involved. I feel. Just to kind of get things back in line.
So if anything, you know, when I was a kid, parents were aggressive, like, you know, aggressively trying to maintain their kids' weight. Like, no, you need to get out, run, do sports, fucking stay fit. You can't just sit around and be fat. There weren't as many fat kids when we were kids, Greeno. There was a few, obviously. Every generation's got them.
It was the minority in reality.
Definitely.
I can think of our primary school. There were 2 fat kids, and then we had like 100 students in our primary school, and there were 2.
That's right.
And they were just and once again, those fat kids, in retrospect, weren't overly fat.
No, they weren't.
But
they were just the fattest ones there compared to
They were the fattest ones there. They were kind of like generally the taller kids.
Yeah.
And you were a tall kid, you weren't fat. But there was a dude.
I was lanky and like gangly.
Yeah, you were lanky. Yeah. There was a dude called Tim. We won't name the full name, but he was considered the fat dude. But he wasn't really fat. He was just quite tall and had a little bit of a belly.
Yep.
And there was another kid named Liam. And he was a little bit chubby, but that was just his build. That's how it was.
We had all the classics. We had the classic Screener. We had the chubby redhead with freckles, like the classic fucking image.
That was Liam, yep.
And we had the chubby Samoans and stuff as well. Like, but
well, we didn't have many Samoans.
You didn't think of them as chubby though. You just thought of them as islanders.
Samoan.
Yeah, they're islands. That's just the way they're built. Yeah,
that's their build. Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously there's a lot of fat kids now, I guess, comparatively. And interestingly, that the parents are upset that a show is trying to encourage the children not to be fat. They're actually angry at that. They'd rather than, I guess,
kids be fat and
the
unhealthy.
show say it's fine if you're fat and unhealthy and you can't finish the fun run without having a heart attack. It's good. Just be yourself. Isn't it strange?
7-year-old.
Yeah.
It's very strange. I saw this, I was very confused. Firstly, fat phobia. I didn't realize that was a term. Once again, we're canceling everything.
Yeah.
If someone like there's a difference between having kind of like a health issue that you physically cannot lose weight and just being a lazy fat cunt. Like they're two separate things. You understand? Like there's no such thing as fat phobia. There is a choice. It sometimes. What was the show? Put the cookie down. Fucking jingle all the way.
Yes.
When you hit the line, jingle all the way. Put the cookie down.
Put the fucking cookie down.
Put the cookie down.
This is the statement from ABC, Greeno. This is interesting for a number of reasons. The new version provides families with the opportunity to manage important conversations in their own way. I'm sorry, if you're a family listening to this, you already have that opportunity. You don't have to get it from Bluey.
Yeah.
The fact that the ABC would say the new version provides families with the opportunity, as if they were denied the opportunity to talk about whether or not it's good to be fat. You know, as if they were denied that opportunity previously somehow by Bluey. Now you've got permission from Bluey. No, it's okay to talk to your fat children about how it's, you know, in your own special way, I guess. Boy.
It's fucking ridiculous. We can't believe it.
Well, I mean, people are just outraged all the time, and I'm just so, you know, I just see the outrage. For me now, outrage is just kind of like I'm sitting next to a river that's flowing, and every now and then I throw a stone in it just to see the ripples, and that, you know, that's my interaction with the outrage. But for most of it, I just sit on the banks of the river and watch the outrage flow past me, you know.
It's too much outrage, The outrage has been overdone. That's the problem.
Every now and then a bit of water tries to splash up and hit you on the face, and you're just like, I barely even felt it. It's fine. It's such a nice day here. I'm just going to watch the outrage keep flowing, you know.
Outrage has become the boy that cried wolf, unfortunately.
Was that many years ago? These days it's a knockoff. It's a mock-up version of itself, if that makes sense. You know,
it's no good.
It's a parody version of itself. There is no real outrage anymore.
No one's genuinely offended by any of this.
The only real outrage, Greeno, to be fair, is the outrage that a sane person would feel by being surrounded by outrage. But ironically, that's the only type of outrage that's deemed illegitimate. You're not allowed to have outrage for the fact that you're surrounded by phony outrage. You must only partake in phony outrage.
100%. I'm looking forward to the Bluey next season. where they explore the conversation about Bluey's dad's heart failure because he has excess fat.
Maybe they should do a Bluey where the dog just comes out straight up and says, "Hey kids, don't listen to your fucking parents. You don't want to be fat, right? Go out and run around. Go do some laps down the field, okay? Don't listen to your idiot parents. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about."
Yeah. Well, it's not even the idiot parents. It's like a couple of idiot parents to complain, and then the morons at ABC are like, "Well, people are offended by this." No. 2 people on Talkback were offended by this. So let's re-edit it. No, you're a moron. Yeah, let's move on. Let's get to more positive, Damo. Let's talk Australian tourism. Now, we've had some pretty interesting tourism campaigns over the years. We had obviously the
by the way, Greeno, Stefan Sears in the chat. The official pollster has joined us live on the show tonight.
The official, also verified pollster, Damo. The only guy that can vote in his own polls.
That's right. Correct.
But apparently can't vote in your own polls. So technically we've got no voters for Stefan's poll.
Well, that's right, because no one else has been given the check by Mr. Elon Musk, Greeno.
Or either a freebie or paying for it. Yeah, our listeners, I'm with them. We only got 7 of them, and we know Stefan's one of them. He forked over his $8. The remainder, they haven't forked over their 8, and that's fine because I agree. I wouldn't fork over 8 either.
We don't know that. Stefan might have been verified, Greeno. He might have been having a cocktail party with Elon one day on the roof of a building in New York City somewhere, and Elon said, "You know what, mate? You've been good company tonight. I'm going to give you a blue tick." Maybe that's what Elon does now. That's how he rewards people in his social circles.
Hangs out with Steph.
Yeah.
Saw his poll, perhaps, and he's like, "Hey, man,
liked his work.
Poll, man. Okay, he's $8.
Don't be surprised. Yeah, don't be surprised if we don't see Steph on Gooden.life though, because he's now obviously officially part of the Twitter family. Yeah,
he's in the pocket of Elon.
Him and Elon are very tight these days. Yeah,
best buds. Yeah,
best buds. So he won't be around on Gooden.life, I don't think. Unfortunately,
well, that's disappointing. It'd be nice to see Steph over there on Gooden.life.
Well, people could vote in the polls over there, couldn't they?
Well, that's it. We can only do one day. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Couldn't do life one day.
One a day only. And if you vote for a poll, that's it. That's your one gooden for the day. That's your one
gooden. Like, yeah, you voted. Like, you're done.
One action.
You couldn't it by saying Stefan's poll B.
Correct.
That's it.
Yeah.
Stefan have anything to say in the chat, or are you just raising the fact Steph was in the chat?
He's saying stuff. Hey, you all realise Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers are filing bankruptcy. They just recoin it as "Hey, fat fuck." There you go.
Nice, Gary.
Is that kind of pointing out that maybe people aren't fat anymore?
No, it's pointing out that people no longer care about being fat.
Fair call.
Yeah. People are fatter than they've ever been. And now,
that's it, because,
now they no longer care about whether they are or not because, hey, we don't want to, what was it? Fucking, what were we accusing Bluey of again in the first place?
Providing
fat phobia, Greeno. Yeah,
fat phobia. That's right. Fat phobia.
That's right. So,
it's an interesting dynamic because where it's all kind of like bold and whatnot.
With a certain perspective, you could argue and believe it that companies like Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers exist purely they're fat phobic corporations, Greeno.
How dare they, Damo?
Yes, they've been profiting off the harm that they've been causing other sized individuals through their toxic fat phobia for generations. There you go.
Those doctors have been warning us to lose weight for our health. Fat phobic, Damo.
I just won a doctorate in social studies with that fucking two sentences there. Someone's going to be emailing me later in the week, and that was Dr. fucking Boogie. Brilliant. Yeah.
Amazing. Dr. Boogie.
Dr. Boogie.
Come on down.
Yep.
Let's talk tourism, Damo. Like I was originally getting to about 4 minutes ago.
All right.
We've had a few different catchy slogans over the years in Australia. We had "Put a Shrimp on the Barbie" by Paul Hogan back in the 80s. We had "Where the Bloody Hell Are You" by Lara Bingle.
Yep. Where the bloody hell are you?
And South Australia trying to get people back into the tourism because no one wants to go to South Australia. Now, I don't know about you. I've been to South Australia. I went there once and had to spend a day in Adelaide, and fuck me, it was the most boring afternoon of my life.
Really?
So I understand where the border may be and the need for publicity for South Australia. And they've taken an interesting approach here with this particular ad. Go down south with your mouth.
Nice, Gary.
South Australia.
Gary.
To which this person on Twitter has recoined the catchphrase, Greeno, "Eat Australia's pussy," which is
nice, Gary.
Which is fucking nice, Gary, to @iStation Splendor. Spender.
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 I don't know.
Go have a look at what it is on the YouTube.
On the Twitter,
but yes,
actually.
There is literally on Twitter, whatever it may be. So well done to South Australian Tourism. They've got a picture of.
BE brings up a good point, Greeno. We had See You in the NT, you'll remember.
We did have See You in the NT, was another good one.
Yeah.
Fair point, BE. That one was good. But I don't know, go down south with your mouth.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Obviously, they're trying to get people to come down
and eat, drink.
Eat South Australian.
No, they're showing, to be fair, they're showing a wine fucking, yeah,
it's a winery, but
yeah, so they and a lot of famous, Aussie wines come from South Australia. So I think that's what they're getting at. But hey,
that's what they're getting at. But obviously, it was all done tongue in cheek.
Smart works, yeah, absolutely.
Smart works, yeah. Gives the hot toss.
We love it. We love a good double entendre here on the show. My personal favourite was that there was a billboard in Sydney on. Remember the old way how you used to have to get to the F3 freeway to go north, Greeno? So you used to have to go through kind of like West Pennant Hills and that sort of area. Yeah. So there was a billboard up around that. It's kind of part of town. If you're from Sydney, you know what I'm talking about. That kind of North Shore-ish, kind of situation there, heading towards the F3, heading towards Hornsby and that. And there was a billboard there, and there was, at the time, Australia's... So after Jennifer Hawkins won Miss Universe or whatever it was that she won, there was another Aussie girl a year or two later who came very close to winning it as well, and her name was Rachel Finch, if I'm not mistaken.
So Rachel Finch, is that Buddy Franklin's wife?
No, his wife is
Jacinta.
That's right.
She was the Australia's Miss Universe contestant the year after
Rachel Finch. Right, there you go. So at the time, Rachel Finch, she came very close to winning it as well. For some reason, it was a good era for Australian models, I think, generally speaking. And she was on a billboard on this road. There was a wine label called Cockatoo Ridge, and it had a picture of her next to the bottle of wine, and she was wearing a bikini or something silly. And it said, "She loves a cockatoo." That was nice, Gary, for that. And it actually...
How much do you reckon she would have had to been paid to sign off on that?
Who knows?
That's worth at least six figures.
But what a pitch! Can you imagine pitching it to her and like, okay, so this is what we want to do. Okay, she loves a cockatoo. And that stage of her career,
she was like $150,000. Fuck yeah, sign me up.
I don't mind. Yeah, that might be unders actually.
No one's ever going to remember this ad on fucking West Pennant Hill Road and talk about it on a podcast years later.
Well, funny you say that, because I used to see it every night because I used to have to drive that way for work. And I went past one night and it was gone all of a sudden, because it used to make me smile when I drove past. I was like, it's just fucking funny, it's just such a dumb pun. I love dumb puns.
Yeah.
And I came past one night, it was gone, and it was like one of those, put your billboard here, call 1-800 such and such.
Yeah.
And then I discovered a couple of days later that there was, guess what, Greeno, an outrage campaign.
Always an outrage
campaign. And they had it taken down because of sexism. So there you go.
Nice, Gary!
Apparently it's sexist to infer that women like cock occasionally. Who knows?
Now,
who knew that was so awful?
If it was like one of the dudes from Queer Eye, would that be then like bold and whatnot?
I don't know, but
I don't know.
It wasn't even that offensive. Cockatoo Ridge.
It's not offensive in any way, shape, or form. She fucking signed off and got paid a shit ton of money for it.
Of course.
I hope she had to give the money back. If they're like, we're going to take this billboard down because it's offensive, I hope she had to give the money back, because they're like, well, we can't use this ad.
No,
we want our $100,000.
There was no giving back of any money. There's never any giving back of any money, Greeno.
So we've had tourism hot toss, Damo. I feel like this show has been a little bit lowbrow, so I'd like to take it up a notch.
Class it up a bit, please.
I need to class it up. Let's do classical hot toss, Damo.
Yeah, okay.
There?
Oh, BE, hang on. We've got to interrupt the show again, Greeno. Here we go, Greeno. This was sent through by BE from the UK. Controversial marketing ads, Cockatoo Ridge Wines. She loves a cockatoo. There you go. So
there we go.
Rachel Ridge, he's found the Cockatoo Ridge.
Oh my God.
The ad. Oh, it's not Finch. It's Erin McNaught, whoever that
Erin
is.
McNaught. That's the one. That was the one dating Braith Nasta, I believe.
Braith
so also attached to a footy player.
Right. Okay. So yeah, the ad was placed at a massive billboard at Burke Street, Melbourne. Well, I'm not in Melbourne. There was a Sydney one.
The Sydney one.
The intention of this ad is to sell wine by sexing it. Oh, no shit. The ad suggests that the model is promiscuous. How awful
Well,
again.
in what way? Like cock or two? Like once again, the or is very important. Maybe she just likes one cock.
Yeah. She loves a cockatoo ridge, Greeno, or the bird. You can see the bird on her shoulder there. You know, she's got a cockatoo. She loves a cockatoo. Who doesn't love a cockatoo? I love a cockatoo.
She's a winner. Cancel everything.
Cancel it.
Let's get back to classy, Damien. Classy hot toss.
Okay.
Saw this throughout the course of the week. Concert goers let out a loud full body orgasm while the LA Philharmonic plays Tchaikovsky's Fifth.
Okay. We have to have the audio somewhere, surely?
I don't think it's audio.
Tease it up like that, are they?
I think they've just teased it up to say someone's in the audience. I think they were just trying to promote the LA Philharmonic playing Tchaikovsky's Fifth.
Other audience members disputed the orgasm theory, offering that the woman could have made the noise while walking after having fallen asleep. Some worried that it could have been related to a medical condition or emergency, Greeno.
Cancel everything, Damon. We can't even have an orgasm at the LA Philharmonic without people going, nah, that's crazy talk.
Looks like they're calling it the LA Phil these days, Greeno. The Phil.
Well, they are, but I could bring myself to call it the LA Phil.
The kids are calling it these days.
It's like Uncle Phil from Prince of Bel-Air.
Prince of Bel-Air. Was it Uncle Phil? It was too, wasn't it?
100% it was Uncle Phil. The guy that played Shredder that no one fucking knew. Right. Like, you watched an Uncle Phil all those years, and it wasn't until like I became an adult. I'm like, that was the dude that voiced Shredder in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoons.
Is it really?
100%.
Wow. Okay. I never knew that.
So it was actually more well known for that unwittingly to everyone else.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah. That fucking segment just kind of died in its ass. Let's do stat mans and get the hell out of here, shall we?
Okay.
I'm a stat man.
Talk about the Oakland A's, and unfortunately, it's a fucking rough old time for A's fans like yourself, Damo. They're about to lose their team. They're going to go to Vegas, which unfortunately, the owners are so incompetent. They haven't actually done the paperwork to go to Vegas and haven't applied for the particular things they need to get the stadium. But nonetheless, the Oakland A's had 28 games played in April without a win by a starting pitcher. That is the most in a calendar month in MLB history. So they've only won 6 games all year, and every one of those games never was accredited to a starting pitcher because they won it late when a reliever was in.
Is Billy Bean going to retire, Greeno, at the end of this year, or what?
Billy's already in upper office. He's well taken care of.
Okay.
They're now 5 days into the next month, and the answer is still no wins by a starting pitcher.
Wow.
So they're now up to 33 games, I believe, or 32 games.
Wow, they've got both ends of the record spectrum covered, haven't
they? That's Moneyball, baby.
Yeah,
I'm now cheering for 0 wins ever by a starting pitcher. If they can go the entire season, because 28's already the record. I want to see how bad they can take this record. It's going to be unbelievable. That brings us to, obviously, we're going to Shohei Statman, sir. There can't be an episode without a Shohei stat, man, because he does something historic every week. Shohei Ohtani is the 5th player in the modern era, that's since 1900, with 500 hits as a batter and 500 strikeouts as a pitcher.
There you go. And according to Keith Oldman, can't play. Terrible. Shit.
Well, not the
player.
Face. No, because Keith's racist. He said he's not the face of baseball because he can't speak English.
Ah, right. Okay.
That's what Keith said, because Keith's obviously a racist. Let's do some Volandi's math if we can, sir. So, Mr. Rugby League, the guy that's in charge of footy. Now, he does what every other commissioner or man in charge of rugby league does. He likes to tout the fact we're going to take rugby league to America and take the world by storm. Fucking rugby league over in America is going to be unbelievable.
I've been hearing that for 30 years, that Australian sport's going to take over America. Guess what? It's never going to happen, okay? Never going to happen.
No, it gets a fuck about rugby league in America. It will never happen. Let's move on. But what Volandis has realised is, like, we might be able to get a bit more. We've already got enough fucking gambling cash from Australia. Maybe we can supple on the teat of the American gambling agencies get a little bit more if we can.
Let's move.
So
Let's move all the rugby league teams to Vegas then with the
Let's
A's.
move to Vegas.
They can play on the
Vegas
A's.
Broncos,
Yeah,
baby.
they can play on the A's training ground out the back.
100%. So someone they sent out a shell to interview him throughout the course of the week, and I'll give a fucking tip of the hat to this shell that went out and interviewed him because they asked him this question. I'm told by clubs and players they want some of the $200 million of wagering revenue that Volandis spruiked to News Corp earlier this week. So Volandis is already spruiking it earlier. This is a follow-up interview. And they're like, hang on, now the players want a bit of that money that you've been spruiking about the gambling money. And he's like, look, anything we go, this is Volandis. Anything we do goes back to the clubs, players, and participation. Let's say our revenue is $100. The clubs get $21, the players get $41, and the participation gets $40. The rest is left for us to buy assets. The interviewer thought about it for a quarter of a second and said, hang on, that's $102. This is the head of rugby league.
Nice, Gary!
He's not big on the details, Green. He's more there. He's there for inspiration, really, and to delegate.
He's not a good accountant, Damo.
Yeah.
He's not a good accountant. He's like, there's a cake and we split up the cake. Let's fucking not get into semantics. So when it comes to his paycheck, I just hope that someone's like,
How much cake is he getting?
You're meant to get 4.2 million. We might give you 3.1 million.
I'm
Fucking
not an
semantics.
accountant. Yeah.
You get a bit of a cake. I'm not an accountant. Fucking idiot. This place. But he caters to the media, so they love him. They
right.
suckle at him. Now, let's end it. It's Magic Round here in Australia. We like to talk about Magic Round each year because BE, our Earth reporter, has been talking about Magic Round for Australia for probably back in 2010, maybe 2011. He was like, we should do Magic Round here in Australia. And it happened years and years later. So every time Magic Rounds happens, we'd like to shout out that BE was the original thought process of it to bring into Australia. So he's the man who's doesn't love no Magic Round, Damo.
Tell me. I'm looking at it on the screen, but let's go through with the whole act anyway. Like
we'll
I'm
go
not.
through the whole
routine.
The bear, Damo.
Yeah.
The bear, Ian Maurice. We talked about how we're trying to get the bear.
The second time the bear's been mentioned on the show now.
I'm trying to sneak the bear into as many segments as I can because
we're bear fans.
We're trying to get the bear up to like how many followers? I forget how many followers we're trying to get him to.
It wasn't many, was it? Okay, he's got 1,000. We wanted to get him to 50,000 or something.
Something ridiculous like that now. Where is it? He's at 1,000. No, we were trying to get him to 1,000. So we've done our job. Let's fucking hit the ding, ding, ding.
I'm going to give that a like too, by the way, for Ian Maurice. There you go.
100% like the bear. So the bear had this to say. I must be the only one who couldn't give a toss about Enron Magic Round. To me, it's just another round of footy.
Okay.
I haven't been to a game in years, nor do I want to.
I'll
just watch whatever TV takes my fancy, as I do most weekends. So the bear, he doesn't love his Magic Round footy, Damo.
He got a reply from Chris Gallagher who said, yep, good for you. The great game will survive without your bitterness and negativity. Jog on. And Ian Maurice replied to him, nothing bitter from me, mate. If others enjoy it, I'm happy. Just don't want to be caught up in the booze-a-thon. So there you go. He's an angry old man on Twitter, Greeno.
The bear. It's nice to have him still around. I love the bear. We need more bear content. I think I'm going to try and find the bear tweet of the week.
I'm going for this one here. No bitterness from me. If people want to have fun in a booze-a-thon, he keeps mentioning booze-a-thon. Good for them. At my age, I'd rather put my feet up. No cues, no annoying people around me, no loud pop music over the speakers. He says pop music, Greeno.
Nice, Gary!
No over-the-top ground announcers, etc., etc. I'm happy. Okay, so there you go. Probably shouldn't be on Twitter then, should he?
Yeah, no, it feels like the bear isn't made for Twitter.
No.
More kind of the old fax machine, perhaps.
Fax machine. Send the bear a fax. Maybe someone faxes him the tweets, Greeno.
Yeah, just like, what do you think about this, bear? And he'll fax you back eventually when he remembers. It'll be good.
As long as he has the fax plugged into the correct hole on the phone thing coming out of the wall.
Yeah. Phone number.
You got to have the right cord. Yeah.
I had this conversation last week. Do you have a home phone number?
No, I haven't for literally 20 years.
I think I have one. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, look, I think I signed up for one when I was like 18 or 19 because I needed to hook up cable TV. and I never had a
that's-
phone connected to it or anything. Like,
Well, yeah, I'm saying I think I've got a phone number, and the only reason I've got it is because of I need it for my internet.
there you go. So yeah, does anyone have a phone anymore? Ironically, we all got mobile phones because we were sick of the prank calls and the scam calls and the salesman calling us on the landlines. Now I reckon. Well, I reckon if we went back to landlines, no one's doing scam calls on there anymore because they're all on the fucking mobile.
On the mobiles, yeah, 100%. 100%.
See, let's bring back landlines. Fuck it, and you can silence the landline during dinner. There's no need to listen to it ring. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, done. And then that'll end the scam calls. You know what? If the scammers are going to follow us to mobiles, we'll go back to the fucking landlines. And if they follow us back then we'll go back to the fucking mobiles again. Fuck them.
Let's go to fax, though. That's what I'm saying. We're going to go
fax machines. We're going further back.
Everything's going to be faxed, right?
Yeah.
Because you can scam it like, oh, I'm interested, like, bank details, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm not going to get back to you in time for you to go steal my details.
Correct.
Scale it back.
Yep.
Fixed it. You know nothing about fucking fax machines. I know nothing about the internet. Between us, we fixed it.
Fix it. Done. Another problem solved. Yep.
All right. Good time for us to end the show. There's no plugs. Winner.
No
We
plugs.
got Don Camaro.
Don
Don't forget Don Camaro.
Yep.
I saw a thing earlier today on Twitter talking about the Triple J or Double J had done the greatest short songs of all time.
Okay.
I can't believe Don Camaro didn't make the list.
Can I take a wild guess and say that song 2 from Blur probably won it?
No, that wasn't on there.
Really?
That wasn't on there.
It should be. It's like a minute 20 or something, a minute 30 long. It's not very
it's
long.
about a minute 30. They were doing, I think it was like sub-minute songs.
Oh, right. Okay.
Nothing good there. It was nothing good. It was no Don Camaro, I'll tell you that much. So I had to make sure I got in touch with them, send them a fax.
Send them a bog roll on a fax screener.
Yeah. Said, look, hey, you fucking forgot about Don Camaro there. Number 1 with a bullet.
Yep.
We got that and not much else. Go check us out on all the different platforms. Good Night Life is
currently under construction.
Under construction.
Yeah. But just go wait there on the page and we'll have it fired up eventually.
Hang tight. We'll be with you in a minute.
Bookmark it and just check in every day. Okay.
Just
check on the progress.
And if any of our, because we've got two reviews now, the other 5 listeners, we want 5-star ratings.
Pull your finger out. Yeah.
We figure out because fucking we need to extend that. We need to get to number 8.
Yeah.
We need to get it all out there.
We've been big in Sweden for a week. We'd like to crack Norway next.
To Botswana.
Yeah.
Fucking this is our next market. Let's get in there. All right. See you guys next week.
Bye.
We'll always be bosom buddies, friends, sisters, and pals. We'll always be bosom buddies. If life should reject you, there's me to protect you.
If I say that your tongue is vicious,
if I call you uncouth,
it's simply that.
Who else but a bosom buddy will sit down